Hey, John here again. So today I want to make a video on vinyl railings, installing them, and just to help somebody out if they've never done it. I've never done it, but it's pretty easy stuff. The old stuff I put around 7 years ago that, typical wood railing. I made it myself. That didn't come in pieces. You just, make whatever you want. But over time, it rots. It has, I'll show you. It has, it's been replaced. The bottom rails been painted a few times. Gets that black molding crap on there, and and then you got this. I don't know if you can see that rot. It starts coming into play, and that top rail's been replaced before. The bottom rail's been replaced with pressure treated. So there's a lot of maintenance to it. If you don't keep up with it, it will rot. This stuff supposedly is not going to rot. It is a little bit pricey. That section right there I did yesterday, $50 for the panel that goes across, comes all together. Well, it's all loosey-goosey, but once you put the posts in, the sleeves, I'd have to add that up real quick. But so today I just want to finish this section here and maybe do a section of railing there. So I just want to show that real quick. So the first thing is, let me get a little closer. I say the first thing is set these railings up, posts up first. And they make, this post here is, an engineered one. It's steel, it's got a plate on the bottom, you can bolt to it. And I bought it thinking it was $12, but it turns out it's $32 inside this plastic sleeve here. I'm not doing that again. It's only the one. So I bought, some pressure treated for $8, just one, cut it. Well, that's not going to fit obviously, but this one, you can get two out of one 8-foot, because they're about 39 inches. But then you got a problem of how you're going to mount it, right? So I did find these little plates here, but they were actually not for sale individually. The guy just let it pass, I guess. So my next move would be something like this, to mount them without a plate. You can use some kind of angle iron, like, I don't know what you call it, for trusses or whatever. Because this, this base plate goes over the top, it's going to hide everything. But then you're talking, well, I'll show you what I did, and I'll show you how I did these. They're not mounted yet, but I still have to screw them to the deck. And then, I didn't even really need to buy any wood because the old post, it was pressure treated, and it's they're still in decent shape. I had to cut the nails off, but I'm going to reuse them. They were a little bit taller, so I'll have to clip them off a little bit. They were like 42 inches, and I only need about 39 to, match the railing and the sleeves. So I'm going to finish this section here, maybe that stair section over there, just to show you, and I'll get to the other section way over there, because I got to do a gate and everything. That's going to be a while, and I can definitely tell you how much it's going to cost. It is more than building it by wood, but then when you think about, you're going to be painting it all the time and keeping up with and repairing the rotted wood, this stuff is going to, hopefully be maintenance free other than washing it. But let me see if I can get a shot of this here. This this post is it's screwed on here. Pretty heavy duty plate. Again, these aren't for sale. This bottom plate, they come with a post and beam thing for like porches, the big ones. So I could probably make something like this, but I'm probably going to end up going with, I'll use that obviously. And the ones that cost $32, they have a pretty good plate too. There's a square 1.5 inch square tubing that's welded to. This is just a plate in case you got access to go through. On the bottom you could put nuts and bolts, switch together. But I'm just going to lag them to the deck, and I'm going to position this in a spot where I can send a galvanized 2-inch lag and catch a joist at least on one side, probably the side with 3, and then the little shorter legs go right into the decking. I did it over there. It seems to be holding up you know, it's pretty sturdy. But this plate here came with that engineered post, and I just used the top plate that's welded to the thing, and you know, mounted it just like this. But I'm not paying $32 when the wood costs, you know, it's cheap. Like I said, $8 for get a piece of this. $8 for whatever. 8-foot section of 4x4. But like I said, I have some left over, and this shit here just slides over it, and you know, there is a little bit of play in there. You know, so if you do use this kind of angle iron here, it will actually, you know what I mean? Well, it'll go the other way, but if you use this and mounted this like this, you know, put 4 of them across, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it'll do the trick. And of course, this sleeve would go over it. I got the base plate on there, but it would go over it, you know, and it would hide them. So I think I'm going to do that for the rest of them, because these are cheap enough. I don't like that it's got this piece in the middle, but it's for you know, for support. I might get some thicker angle iron and just do it myself. I got to see how it works, but see how that ain't going to sit all the way down, you know. Not that that's going to be a problem, because if you got 4 of them, it'll sit evenly. It's not a big deal. You have air for, you know, like I said, this base plate, it's got a lot of, you know, area to cover stuff. So I think obviously I'm going to use these plates, because I already have them on there. So even that plate is, you see how there's a lot of movement here, so you got a little bit of wiggle room. And then this kind of just slides over it once you mount it, you know. It hides everything anyways. So, and of course the top goes on, but so let me put some of this stuff together, show you how the railings work. I actually got to cut some railings. I have two sections there. They're $50 a piece, right? But it's more than 6 feet, this gap. It's actually like, I don't know, 7, and it's going to look dopey if I go all the way to the end here and have you know, so you got to have them, or not have them, but I got to take a measurement, and I got to cut both of them, unfortunately. This panel was 6 feet, so that worked out good. I didn't, it just matched up with my old railing. You know, like I said, I built it. I didn't take in consideration what they're traditionally supposed to do. I just got lucky there, but this stuff is pretty cool. These mounting kits, those are angles. You know, so, and you don't even have to know your angle, because it's adjustable. It's kind of like a little slide, you know, no matter what your angle is. So you got a left and a right, top and bottom. So they were cool. And then the traditional ones are just basically, you know, straight jobs. And you know, they give you a little post there for support in the center. But so I am going to need another angle kit. Actually, I don't need it, because it comes like I said, left and right, top and bottom ×2. I only use the one here, but I do have that corner over there that's going to go the other way. So, you know, I actually got them sitting up there, so that'll work. So I don't have to buy them, because they were $20, which, like I said, is pretty pricey. But the base plates, they were, I think, $7, $6, $7. And the top pieces there, I think around the same. So when you add everything up, you know, just the section I bought today to finish this stair railing, just going to do this one side, this post, the cap, the base, and I had to get another sleeve for that, and a base and a cap. That came to $150, you know. Like I said, that's $50 a piece for those panels. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can buy them where they're not put together already. That might be a little easier, because I got to cut these. It might be a little, you know, easier if they weren't together already, but I think it's going to be pretty simple. Just wherever I'm going to cut them, it's just PVC, so it should be easy to cut. That's that. So it is pricey, and this is actually the cheaper stuff. They have more expensive stuff. This is like PVC. They have like a composite stuff with, it's a little heavier duty handrail. Has, I guess, incorporated with, you know, sawdust, like particle board, and they wrap it with you know, whatever it is. But I went this route because, well, it's expensive enough, but I don't really have, you know, nobody's gonna be sitting on a railing or anything. So, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, it's, you know, it's mounted pretty good. I can't move it, so and that's just one section sitting there with no, you know, once you plug in, that's in the ground in cement, so once you plug in the railing, that'll sturdy that piece up. And of course, going across here, you know, that'll make that all sturdy. But even the old wood one's still sturdy. It's just like I said, it's just, it rots, and you got to replace it, and you got to, I don't know, it's just a pain in the ass. Anyways, so let me get to putting this together, show you how easy this stuff is. Now, first order of business is finding out where the center post has to go. It's looking right around 43 inches to there. And mark my little holes so I can drill my drill my holes out for my lag bolts. That's gonna be a short one, went right through. That's going to be a long one. I should rotate this. So I'd want at least 2 long ones. So I could probably rotate like this. No, it's only going to grab. Ain't going to matter. Like a hole here, you know, so grab that. But I think 6 lag bolts will hold that sturdy. That might be a little unlevel there. I have to clean that out. So anyways, drill out those other ones. And then this is the center one, so I'm not worried about that. That one I can angle, hopefully grab more of this stud. See what happens. And I just tightened all these lags down, and I'd recommend, you know, stainless, or I'm using galvanized, but I don't think you'd want to use regular like zinc because it'll probably rust. I'm sure it will. And I think pressure treated has a reaction with it anyways. But so it's lagged, it's sturdy. Ain't going nowhere if you don't have one of these little doohickeys. You got to level it both ways. But if you do run into a problem where you need a shim or anything, you know, I use washers. I didn't need any in this case. I tightened everything down. It just happened to be level perfectly. But you could throw some washers underneath. You know, whatever you need to, you know, whichever way to tilt her. But that one came out right. So I'm gonna do the other one over there. That's pretty much that. I mean. Sturdy. Now I just put this booger over. Yeah, voila. This guy. And this guy. And that's that. So, 2 posts. I mean, that took, well, for you probably took 1 minute, but I don't know. Drilling out, lag them in, level them up. Probably about 10 minutes on a post, maybe, not even. So now I got to get to, you know, the railings, because one panel comes at 6 feet, like this guy. This is 6 feet, but that over there turns out to be 7.5 feet, which, like I said, unfortunately, you know, you're not going to want to put it to here and then just have a full panel with a post and then a little bit of, and then a post. So we're going to split it. Requires running 2 panels, but I'll have a little extra over because I do have to build a gate here. I mean, this gate originally, you know, I just made it out of 2x4, but you know, it's not gonna, they sell a gate kit, it's $100, but basically you still have to buy hardware, and you know, they're just giving you something that I'm gonna make my own, probably out of that composite, whatever, you know, plastic wood. I forget what they call that, but I'll figure the gate out later. But I will have some extra panel left over for the you know, the uprights there. So that's where I'm at with that. Let me get that measurement, cut that panel, place it in, bada boom, bada bing. Alright, so basically this this railing, I'm just gonna mark it, you know, mark it here and there. It's 3 inches, you know, there's an indent of 3 inches. So it just worked out that, you know, on mine, I cut it there, and I'm going to have the same thing. Of course, you have to take off like 1/8 of an inch for these, you know, rail hardware kit. But that being said, so I go to Home Depot because I was short a rail kit, you know, for this side, and it turns out they sell a 8-foot section, which this is pre-assembled 6 feet. So, you know, when I bought these, they were pre-assembled. The 8-foot section is not pre-assembled. You have to put it together, but it would have worked for this. But because I need 2 gates, you know, it would have saved me a little money getting the 8-foot one, but I wouldn't need this post here, and obviously wouldn't have to cut 2 $50 panels, 1, 2. But because I'm doing a gate, this is actually what I need. I'm doing 2 gates, so it works out perfect for me. But it just so happens, if I clip it there and clip it there, the spacing is going to be right. And so that's where I'm at. I just wanted to throw out that you can get 8-foot sections, 6-foot or 8-foot sections. The rest of the fence or railing is going to be 6-foot panels, just because that's you know, I don't need anything 8-foot except for this end here. But like I said, it's going to work out for me, just so you know that they do have 8-foot sections. You got to put it together. I don't see it being a problem. I mean, these things just kind of slide into each other. Haven't done it yet, but my stair kit is not assembled, so I'm going to find out how that works out. But I'm assuming there's some kind of, you know, angle, and the hardware kit, you know, like I said, it has some leeway play, so your cuts, they don't have to be like, I'm going to mark this and cut it, and like I said, you have to leave a little room for your hardware kit to install. But even if you cut it a little bit short, there's about 1.5 inches of leeway on both ends. You'll see that, you know, you can jockey this thing back and forth, so it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be super accurate, but I'm going to mark that and go with that. So this is what I was talking about. This it's only got a little 1/8 gap where this, you know, it plugs in. So your measurement, you know, 1/4 inch, you know, whatever your line are, just minus 1/4 inch, that should take up the play. But you see how much distance it's got in you know, where it fits into there. That's looks like 1 inch or so. That even if you're short a little bit, you know what I mean, there's some wiggle room, because this gets mounted to the deck. I mean, to the post rather. Boom, boom. So there's going to be a little wiggle room. Anyways, I think the best way to cut this is just by hand, right? I don't see a need of getting there with a power saw, just because this seems to me like it's, you know, PVC. You know, I haven't cut it yet, but just any fine tooth blade, probably a hacksaw or anything will work. So I don't really need any lines cut, because I'm basically right here at this. So I'm just gonna where am I at here? I'm just going to start cutting. My line is right up against here, but that's 3 inches, and like I said, I need about 1/4 inch, so I'm just going to back it off by eye, about 1/4 inch, and just cut. Yeah, it seems to be going right through it, no problem. Because there's a back on here, like a back saw, I'm gonna have to flip it, but that's where I'm at. Cut this side now. I just want to show this. I didn't glue this on yet, but this is that that manufactured post, and I'm hit or miss on this. First of all, I don't like it because the price. It's $32 for this thing, but as you can see, there's a steel, looks like 2-inch steel square in there. This plastic thing is just an insert. There's one on the bottom, one on the top that just goes over it. This probably goes down about 8 inches, you know, so you can screw into it. What I don't like about it is your screws are too long, which I don't know if you can see them down there. They're going to poke into that steel, and that's going to be a problem. But also, this plastic, you get too, you know, zinging them things in there, this will strip out easier than wood, I would think. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out. It's just too expensive. 4x4, I think, is the way to go. I mean, this one is used. That's what I had. The reason there's so many nails there, it used to be a bottom. This used to be on a bottom. That's what I. Anyways, that one's a new one. This way you can, no matter where you screw into, it doesn't matter. You know, I didn't put these on yet. This deck railing is just cut and sitting there, but as you can see, this is what I was talking about. There's a little gap there you gotta leave, you know, for your railings. There's play, so your measurement, you know, even if you screw it up a little bit, there's a little bit of play. So I'm gonna put these boogers here on there, get that one mounted up. Oh, don't forget the 3-inch spacers to get it off the ground, because you want it, you know, everything obviously uniform. But let me put this in, get that last panel in, see if I can get to the stair thing before I quit. So after you cut everything, you know, like I said, this isn't exactly the perfect cut here. It's just basically, you know, a hacksaw or a back saw. But as long as you got enough room to get this booger in here, right? Because that's going to be the mounting. We're going to nail it in here. Screw it. We're going to screw it in here. Hold on a second. And then this piece, it gets screwed in here. Boom, boom, both sides. And then this piece is, you know, I don't know what I'm looking at here because I'm backwards. But this piece, what the hell is it? You know, it separates and then you just, you know, flop it around there. It's got 2 little screws, so you attack from underneath, and that's how that gets applied. And the bottom one, you know, I basically put them on before I put them on my blocks there. They just are basically caps, and they get screwed in. Boom, one on each side. And then there's a little plastic thing that. So it's really easy to do this stuff, but basically I haven't nailed it down yet. I screwed it down, but like as long as you got the gap, even if you're a little bit short, like I said, that collar that goes on there, you know, it's going to allow for a little bit of a screw up. But and then see how there's a gap there. Oop. We can you know, scooch that in, see what I'm saying? So once it's all screwed down, boom, so I'll do this panel here. That's the extra I got. Use that for a gate, and I'll cut this other panel, fill that in. I don't know if I'm going to get to this railing today because it's getting late. Because I keep getting interrupted, and I have to watch Game of Thrones. So I've got that on the DVR. So I'll get to the railing. So that's the end result there. Those little, like I said, those collars are, you know, you got some wiggle room if you cut it wrong. And you basically put the angle iron, or whatever you want to call it, first. You see how there's a gap there, you know, takes up, just get that piece on first, then that piece wraps around, I'll show you in a second, and gets bolted, screwed in from underneath there, you know. And of course, this piece down here is pretty easy. It's just you know, 2 bolts, square sleeve. So this, and then there's a little cap that goes on the bottom, like that one there. I'll show you how that goes on. But so this stuff's pretty easy stuff, man. It's like, well, you know how things go as things go. You learn. There's a learning curve, but once you get it figured out, I mean, that basically just gets plugged in from underneath. That's it. That's it. Easy peasy stuff. Not quite snapped together, but close enough. And then this one here just gets screwed in by, I'm looking at there. This one gets here, just screwed in from underneath, but this little deal here, see that's just basically wrap it around. Yeah, pretty easy stuff. Just plug it in, call it a wrap. Oh, gotta get over that screw there. There you go. And that's it. And that gets bolted on, screwed on, whatever, with these, they're stainless, but I got a white tip, just in case anybody's here looking underneath. And that's it. But because it's just going on PVC, it's not like it's, you know, going through steel or anything, so. That's it. That is it. So, that being said, let me get to the, put a top post on there. Let me get to this section. Alright, so I threw in this railing right quick. It's about as simple as the rest of them. Of course, these balusters have, you know, this whole railing flexes, you know, one way or the other. So there's certain angles. You don't really need to have your angle. You just, well, long story short, you can, as the directions say, clamp it up against, you know, your post there and mark it. But I didn't do that. I just took a measurement from, you know, here to here and cut them at the proper angles. But I did screw up a little bit. This gap here on this side, it's not quite the same there, so you got to mind your gaps there. You know, if you have to cut the railing, like this was 6 feet and it probably went to about here, so I should have measured it a little better. Although that being said, it's minuscule, so I'm going to do the other railing same way, so you're not going to even notice it. But anyway, so that being said, these posts and railings, they're easy to work with. So anybody's thinking about doing this themselves, go for it. Simple stuff. Hacksaw, cut it. Simple measurements. You don't have to know anything. You do have to just, you know, measure twice, cut once, that type of thing. But like I said before, it's not quite snapped together, but it's pretty easy stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna have to, you know, finish the other railings and just go with that. And I'm going to replace that fence with a vinyl fence, just because wood's okay, but you got to keep up with it, otherwise it's just going to rot. Like I said, you can probably see that, but that is just a little bit of rot there, but I can kick that railing right in with my knee. You know, that's how much it's rot. So that's why I went to the vinyl. This way I don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to paint it or anything. I don't know if it's paintable, but I think it looks alright white. So again, thanks for watching. Hope it helps somebody out on easy installation of a vinyl railing.